Good morning. How are you all doing? You about to have coffee with me? How your morning been going? What did you do this weekend? Where did you go? Before I forget, I've been reading my comments, and Clark has been commenting on my community posts as well as commenting on the videos. And I did not say hi, so I want to make sure I do that right now. Hi, Clark. Good morning to you, doll. Thank you so much for your comments and your love, honey. You done been with me a long time, gal. I'm just messing with you, but really, you've been with me for a long time since I started my very first Simply Put channel. So good morning to you. Thank you so much. Guys, I came to talk with you about one particular subject. I know you already know, child, but it is LeAndria Johnson. I know, I know, I know. She had she performed at a gospel conference this weekend. Now, I don't know what is going on. Like, is it a situation where people in the church don't realize that alcoholism is an actual disease, right? It isn't just something people do occasionally. It's an actual disease. Alcoholics experience physiological symptoms when they withdraw. Their bodies shake and tremble. They have flu-like symptoms. It's bad in some situations if they are chronic alcoholics, and it's bad. Honey, if they try to detox by themselves, they will have a medical crisis. It's bad. With women, when they're alcoholics, especially if they're professionals, people don't know this, but I'll tell you about it. They're addicted so bad that no one would never see any bottles or anything like that around them. However, they're driving and they're at work stone cold drunk, and they've consumed alcohol. They literally take a tampon and soak it in alcohol, insert it, and go about their day just so they can have their drink. They're not drinking it, but that's their way to get it into their body. That is how severe alcoholism impact the thinking patterns of people who are addicts and addicted. We're not even going to touch on the what happens with cirrhosis of the liver. What happens when people full blown, they are sick and they are dying. They have liver cancer and things like that. What the symptoms look like when they get jaundice, when their body starts retaining fluid and they start looking puffy, swollen, and bloated. Their liver is crying out for help and it is leaving up out of here. I'm serious. It is nothing pretty. So I say all that for a reason. I don't know where the spirit of pride came from, but I do blame leaders. I'm going to tell you why. The other week, we just had a man caught up going to see a male prostitute, right? Caught up. The next Sunday, he was right there in front of those people's face again. We'll have people, even one time, John Gray was caught up in something. I forgot what it was. He was caught up in something. And then the next Sunday, he was right standing right there in front of people. Leaders get caught doing things that indicate they're having some kind of problem. May it be depression, some kind of addiction, something's going on that has breached their character and their faith. They're in a fallen state. Instead of them sitting their hips down somewhere, They get right back up, stand in front of people with this attitude of nothing and no one can stop me. I can do what I want to do. The same way addicts think. Because leaders are addicted to power, even when they don't want to admit it. Oh no, not nowadays. They are not humble servants at all. That is very clear. They hop their behinds right back up there in your face, and they can care less about what you know about what they did, because who's going to do something to me? What you gonna do about it? Leave? I don't care. You see that? They really don't take a humble approach when things happen. They don't sit down. They don't know how to. So that's what I mean. I hold leaders responsible for this trend. They're doing it, so why would anyone else choose to sit down and humble themselves? LeAndria, she I just talked about her on June 1st. June 1st. That's when she had her most recent debacle. Honey, it is August 4th. It is August 4th. That wasn't even 4 or 5 months ago, honey. June 1st, now it's August 4th, and she's back up performing. And during that time, her situation, something serious happened with her child. I think her child just got up and left because they couldn't take it no more because of how bad her alcoholism has become. And you have that lady right back up there singing again. That's also prideful and selfish. We don't know how to let people heal. We don't know how to give people space. We keep walking up to people, and we do it with our friends, family, loved ones, co-workers. We pull the same thing. We'll sit there, see them going through something. First thing flies out of our mouth. Be strong. Be strong. You got to be strong. Listen, that's why so many of us walk around unhealed, undelivered, not set free, still captive, and build a whole mansion in the enemy's camp because everybody keep walking up to you. Be strong, be strong, be strong. What are you talking about? Strong how? What? You want me to pick up some kettlebells, the dumbbells? You want me to bench press something? Honey, what do you mean? Do you want me to get in a tough man contest? Do you want me to get out there and get a chain and pull my truck with my teeth? Honey, what are you talking about? Be strong. Huh? Be strong typically mean keep going and keep bleeding out and be quiet. That is not being strong. That is being torn down. That is being beat up. That's not being supported. We tell people be strong, keep going. You know why? Because we don't have the capacity to know how to really walk with someone when they're going through something. If we can't hand them a couple dollars to fix it, we don't know what to do. We don't even know what to do on the back end, behind the scenes, to know how to intercede with them. And they don't know anything about it. We don't even know how to tell ourselves, you know what? Every single solitary Tuesday, I am going to make sure I am going to take 30 minutes and I'm going to be praying for her. They don't even need to know about that. But when you see they are literally getting tore up from the floor up, you understand, there has been a breach and their very soul at risk. They're in trouble. Honey, we won't even do that. Commit to, Lord, I'm going to consistently be lifting this person up every week, every week, every week, every week, every week, every week. We don't know how to do that. We don't know how to windmill for them in the spirit. We'll turn right back around and and windmill in the church online if someone says something about pastor. in their fallen state because we don't know how to lovingly tell someone that power was part of the dynamic that led to your fall and made you believe that you could cheat on your wife, sleep with a gay prostitute, steal money from the church, uh, do whatever you were doing. So the power dynamic that you had as the leader, you abused it. You used it to benefit your iniquity, transgression, sin, immorality. So because of that, we have to take that from you. Clearly, if we look at it biblically, you don't supposed to be up here no more. We don't know how to do that. We don't even know how to lovingly address one another if we have an issue with one another. We're supposed to go to each other. Child, please, they'll be thumb thugging on that darn apps till they get darn trigger finger. They will thumb thug until their fingers get just can't move no more. But they will not go directly to the person to discuss whatever the issue may be. Honey, they'll thumb thug until them little fingers get numb. So those are other prideful things that we do that we don't know how to acknowledge. And we take pride in. I'm not apologizing to them. I'm just cutting them off and run. Like Flojo. That's not appropriate. Right. We have to be better, like I was telling you guys. And for LeAndria, the the black gospel music industry, black gospel entertainment, black pastors, black leaders are failing her. They're failing her because they don't recognize that the notoriety, the concerts, the engagements, they are all part of her addiction. They won't even give this child 6 months. They won't even give that child 6 months to go somewhere and get herself together. They won't even let her go to rehab. They refuse to even let her go to rehab because they just keep demanding that she performs. She can't go somewhere and do an inpatient rehab for 6 months solid. And they have phenomenal, you understand, entities all around the country. Honey, they have some, I am not kidding you. It doesn't look like it's an actual rehab facility at all. No. Uh-uh. It looked like a very pretty resort. Okay. They have pools, they have tennis, they have shuffleboard, they have their own chapels. They have, I mean, it's gorgeous. They have literally grounds for them to play frisbee and football if they wanted to go out there. They have basketball courts. They're absolutely gorgeous. Honey, they are not even far from the private landing strips. God is my witness. I am telling you about something I know about factually, not hypothetically. They are not too far from the landing strip that flew them in on their private jet. Okay. They had a car that met them at the airport and then they drove them to the facility. Their whole process wasn't anything like going to something owned by a city state or may pay for it, with some private insurance. No, they have and then their success rates are extraordinary because they're using everything they have, anything they can find, baby, to help them. Anything they have to do to ensure they can get back out there and live full whole lives, they go out there and do it. They provide it. You have your own ministerial team or leadership. You don't want to listen to some generic pastor or something. Okay, tell us when you want them to come. Okay, let them fill this paperwork out, send it to us, and then they can come. fill the paperwork out, send it back to them, and then you show up that Sunday. They let you have the chapel and literally have church with them. Yeah, that's what they do. So what I'm getting to is that there are programs out there. They're not being mistreated. They're truly getting world class care. Notice the word I said, care. They won't even let this baby get care. They just telling her to do the microwave version of healing. Okay, take them pills, so you won't get back and end up relapsing. Okay, we love you. Come on. We can't wait to see you. Come on. I've been praying for you, knowing good and well they ain't cracked their lips not one time and said anything to God about that girl. They're just using her. And it's sad because an alcoholic, she's going to keep going. She's going to keep showing up for those engagements because they're so foolish. They don't realize her performing. That's part of her addiction cycle. I can't say it enough. I am always completely flabbergasted by the fact that the black church play ignorant to real life issues far more often than we want to admit. Like, how can they not know, right? What she need? I'm sure everyone knows someone, may it be distant relative, um, parent, grandparent, uncle, aunt, your friend's parents, your cousin, daddy. We all know someone who were living with addiction of alcoholism because addiction has plagued our community the entire time in some shape, form, or fashion. And it just seems to me that we just would rather play dumb about it. And we just don't know how to help people. And when we recognize we don't know how to do something, then we need to sit down and figure out learning something new so we can really help people in that capacity. But I mean, for whatever reason, we just don't want to. I mean, I guess they're like, if we do that, then that'll take away from the money, and we need to keep our money. Honey, you don't understand. You don't understand. Baby, they'll make cuts to anything and everything. But one thing they are not going to do, there are entities and organizations out there. You don't have to go find them. They're paying attention to you when you decide to take on the task of addressing alcoholism and or drug addiction. Honey, they're coming with the money. You don't have to go find them. They're coming because they're committed to funding and supporting programs that are addressing alcoholism. AA, that's not the only program that's out there. And to be perfectly honest with you, I don't think it's a good idea for Christians to use AA. However, if you have to, go ahead, because in a way you have to, because the church hasn't come up with anything similar to AA to support you that's based on the word. So with that said, I mean, that's another thing. They're living Christians that they don't have no choice but to go to AA, which if you really sit down and read and study what AA mean, where it come from, yeah, you would begin having some questions. That again, we have no choice but to send people to outsiders because we haven't done our job, our role, and capacity to assist them. That girl is back out there June 1st. Very, 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 very first part of the summer. Can you believe that? And here we are. I mean, even when she tried to sing, that grace was not on her life, and you could tell. She was literally screaming her way through a song. She kept trying, she kept trying. And the Lord sometimes will sit us down, before, we physically sit down. And sometimes, a lot of times when we try to go against his will and do what we want to do anyway, it's not pretty when he sit us down. So it's better to listen and go ahead and sit down somewhere before he realized, and I don't have no choice. They are in rebellion. They won't listen to me. They won't be obedient. They he will something severe occurs because we just keep trying to go back to what works, and you just get worse and worse and worse and worse instead of understanding and humility. I have to stop. I have to trust God in this. That's the way I make my money. But you know what? God gave me this voice. God gave me this gift. God gave me provision. So I'm going to trust him. And they don't recognize that. So they just keep assisting in destruction of that girl. And that's questionable to me. I want to know who organized that gospel conference, that gospel choir conference. I want to know who organized it. Because I do have I do, God is my witness, I have legitimate questions for them. Not to condemn them or anything. I need to have a conversation. I just have real questions. I just want to see what they say. I'm not kidding you. Y'all hear that craziness? Y'all hear it? Something happened. Y'all hear that? Hold on. Is it going away from my house or near my house or to my house? Okay. Sorry about that, y'all. Anyway, I have questions. I just want to know. Did you know? Or, what do you think about this? And not even what did you do, but just from a spiritual sense, what led you to book her? Why did you do it? Why did you do it? You mean to tell me you couldn't find someone else? Was it a money thing? That because of her illness, she'll pretty much take any booking she can and get paid a little bit of money? What was it that led to this decision that's out of the will of God? Go find the link and listen to her singing. Guys, I'm serious, guys. Go listen to her singing this weekend. And tell me if I'm crazy or not. The grace has left. That's just like churches. The grace has left. The glory of God has left that place, and then they're not listening. They're sitting right there that they refuse to listen. And that's because they operate in pride too. Stiff necked, rebellious. I have questions. Now, I can't wait to read y'all comments. I hope you have a beautiful day. I really super hope that today something amazing happens for you and your family. All right? Enjoy your day. I can't wait to read your comments. Talk to you soon. Bye.